Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Today culminates a month long of activities under the Africa Dialogue series, including videos, interviews, webinar, youth stage, and the rich cultural program dedicated to the African Union's 2025 theme. Justice for Africans and people of African descendants through reparations. Therefore, allow me to start by thanking all the partners who have joined us to deliver this 2025 ADS edition. His Excellency the President of the General Assembly, the African Union Economic, Social and Cultural Council, the Pan-African Parliament, the CARICOM Secretariat, the Economic Commission for Africa, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, the United Nations Educational and Cultural Organization, the United Nations Population Fund, and of course, our long-standing co-organizing the African Union Permanent Observer Mission to the United Nations, my dear sister Fatima. We appreciate you and thank you once again for all your contributions. Over the past months, the Africa Dialogue series has provided a platform for open and honest discussions on reparatory justice. As we conclude, we need to acknowledge and condemn the crimes of the past, understand their impact on present injustice, and ensure that we address them to build a future of joint prosperity. Today, 40% of African countries spend more on debt servicing than on healthcare, while illicit financial flows deprive nations of their own resources. African states already mobilize 2/3 of their development financing domestically. Yet, African countries face systemic barriers such as marginal positions in global value chains, despite being commodity rich, prohibitive capital costs, and restricted access to technology. All in all, African countries lose between $500 to $600 billion annually that could be mobilized for sustained development. It is not an unfortunate accident. It is the result of structural issues. The same structures that enable colonialism, enslavement, and racial domination now adopt new forms that continue to deliver unfairness and inequality. These injustices persist, deepening disparities and necessitating urgent redress. This is why the discussion about reparatory justice is necessary. The African Union theme for 2025 offers a historic opportunity, if we approach it with courage, to challenge our own mindsets, the only way to get ready to exercise higher levels of ownership. Justice for Africans and people of African descendants cannot be reduced to an accounting exercise. The conversation on reparations must move beyond a narrow focus of financial compensation. Otherwise, Africa might be forging its own trap, being financially compensated with its own money. Reparation must be understood as a call to transform the rules of international trade, finance, and governance, the systems that have perpetuated injustice for centuries. If we do not confront these asymmetries in trade, finance, technology, and governance, reparation risks becoming an illusion. Paid with Africa's own resources, extract each year through unfair rules, illicit flows, and systemic imbalances. Reparatory justice in the 21st century is about restoring dignity, ensuring equity, and building resilience for future generations. And for this, Reparatory justice must enable African countries to reassert control over their own economic and financial flows, reinvest their assets domestically, paving the way to a vibrant African private sector and build effective states to deliver socioeconomic resilience. To that end, reparatory justice must deliver justice for the past through acknowledgement, apology, restitution, and compensation. Justice for the present, dismantling structures that perpetuate dependency and exploitation. And justice for the future, recognizing African countries' rightful place as owners of their path to peace and development and co-architects of global governance. Reparatory justice is both a moral obligation and an imperative for global stability. Through collective resolve, we can define a new era, one of dignity, equity, and resilience. The Africa we want, it is the Africa the world needs. Thank you.